Η σημερινή μας εκπομπή είναι αφιερωμένη στους άντρες, τους πετυχημένους άντρες της κοινότητάς μας. And today's episode is dedicated to successful Greek-American men. And who better than to kick off this show than Justin Bozonelis, a successful Greek-American. Έχει χαρακτηριστεί ως ένα από τα πιο ελπιδοφόρα μέλη της νεότερης ελληνοαμερικάνικης γενιάς. Το σίγουρο είναι ότι ο Justin Bozonelis κατάφερε να πετύχει πολλά στις επενδύσεις και τις επιχειρήσεις, ενώ στον ελεύθερο χρόνο του ασχολείται και με την παραγωγή ταινιών. Έγινε ακόμη πιο γνωστός με το liveethnic.com, ένα website που καταχωρεί τα κέντρα των εθνικοτήτων που ζουν στην Αμερική. Justin Bozonelis is the perfect example of a successful Greek American. Having studied at NYU's Stern School of Business, he had a success in the investment corporate world. His passion for discovering different cultures around the world led him to launch liveethnic.com, a multicultural website that is a one-stop shop to everything ethnic in your city. Welcome to our show, Justin.
Thank you, Yanna. It's a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity.
My God, your resume, they gave it to me, and I'm like, what has this guy done? This guy has done too much to cover in one episode.
Thank you. Well, it definitely tells a story. As you know, and as you alluded to, I started at NYU. That's where I studied. When I finished, I went into the investment banking world, but I specifically focused on technology investment banking. So I worked at UBS in a group that specialized in mergers and acquisitions within the technology space, where I really got a good sense of what tech companies were all about.
Right.
And then from there, I went into Lehman Brothers before it went under.
Before it went under and did all those bad things? Yes, I'm joking.
Well said. So from there, I like most Greeks, I have an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes, we do. We like to be masters of our own soul. And did being in the technology sector of investment banking, did that segue into your getting involved with all these websites and all these other things that you're doing?
It really did. I really took a hard look at my expertise and what I had learned. And as you just said before, as Greeks, we always want to be our own bosses and sort of build something. So I had some ideas in place, and ultimately technology is what always spoke to me the most. And using the expertise both in the business world and understanding technology, at one point I covered what's called semiconductor capital equipment companies. So I got a really good sense of what really makes computers run, ion implementation, photolithography, all that fun stuff. But it was a really good set of skills to have. And then from that, I really parlayed it into looking at different websites to build out. The idea from Live Ethnic came from a different direction, but the good news is I had the toolkit to really kind of get it going.
And I like the fact that you went international.
Thank you.
Because that is where we're going. It's all global. We're trying to come together. And tell me a little bit about what inspired you to launch Live Ethnic.
Absolutely, and it's a story that's very near and dear to this community because this community is very important to me. So I had moved back to New York City from Miami Beach, I guess about 4 or 5 years ago, and I noticed that the Greeks in Manhattan, the young professional Greeks, weren't really getting together. I mean, everyone would love coming into Astoria, everyone always loves that. But there wasn't really a nexus for people to kind of network and, whether it's socially or through business, build a presence. So I went to the Cathedral on East 74th Street, where I'm very active, and I found a few friends there and basically said, let's get an email listserv going, comprised of, let's call it 3 to 5 names. And I just said once a month, we'll call it the Parea, we'll get together at a non-Greek place.
Oh, I love that. I mean,
yeah, please.
We have to say that, you know, the new generation of Greek Americans, not only the Greek Americans, the Greek Australians, the Greek South Africans, we want to learn about each other. We want to meet each other. And that helps our Hellenism, our community grow, because a lot of us, we lose each other. We live in America, and going to different schools and making different friends from other ethnic backgrounds. It is so amazing what you're doing by bringing together the new generation.
Thank you. It's really important to protect that.
Which is everywhere, not just Astoria. That's what I was going to say.
It's true, and you're a testament to that. You do such a great job in doing just that, sort of preserving these ideals, because with every generation, you kind of lose a bit of that succession of that level of I wouldn't say caring, but maybe identification. So
do you suggest to our new generation to keep close to the church, to keep close to the community, go to these events and, you know, meet new people?
Absolutely.
And learn more about your heritage, even if you don't speak Greek, because that's what is an important part too. A lot of the new generation don't speak the language. We want them to. We want to encourage them. I personally did not speak a lot of Greek, but when I went to Greece, the bug went in and I just started learning Greek.
That's right, and that's really well said. So that was the genesis of the email list. I wanted to get people together and sort of to better identify with events in the city that really cater to this crowd. So, you know how it works.
Hellenic American events?
Yeah, Hellenic American events to do with the church. It was very informal. This is how it started. It was
Five friends it started with. How many are now?
2,400 something or other.
That's impressive.
Yeah, at the end of the first year it was 30.
Join that group.
And that is really what sparked Live Ethnic. So I had bought, unbeknownst to many people, I actually purchased a cheap URL, nycgr.com, to build out turn my email list into a website. And I started looking at, just through the internet, how other ethnicities have a presence, you know, whether it's Brazilians or Australians. And there were some disparate websites, but I noticed no one really did it across ethnicities. So I said, okay, I definitely want to do this for Greeks. I want to get festivals in there, all of my 9 different categories that exist on Live Ethnic. But how, you know, with entrepreneurs, it's always about problem solving. What problem can you solve? And I really look at Live Ethnic as a way to solve the problem of getting quality ethnic information. So instead of having to go to 10 different websites to figure out your Greek festivals, your Greek restaurants is a very commoditized segment, but the other ones that are hard to find, like professional services, community organizations, bring it together for Greeks, but bring it together for all the 195 U.S. State Department recognized ethnicities across every multicultural city. Then it becomes a really big opportunity, and it becomes a very useful tool.
Very useful tool. A lot of data in there. That's wonderful. Sure. And whatever you're looking for is on this site. Anything ethnic.
That's right. That's
what is your biggest ethnic community so far?
Oh, you know, we're still scaling. So the 195 are not on there. Every week one gets built out. You know, I started with the Greeks, obviously, because that was the whole.
Of course.
It's always going to be #1 for me, and it's just I wanted to make sure I had that information right, so I took care of that. But you know, we have Japan on there. We have all the massive. We started with the biggest economies, and quite frankly, the ones that have the biggest presence of, the biggest populations, I should say, in my 3 starter cities, which are New York, Los Angeles, and Miami.
I mean, I think that's amazing. I think people should look it up on our screens right now. You should be seeing some information, how you can become involved, and where to log on and to get some information about other ethnic communities and, of course, the Greek community. You have done so much, and you're such a big part of the community. Tell me a little bit about your background and your parents.
Sure. So my father's side, we're 100% Greek. My father's side is from Naphtalion, which was actually the first capital of Greece, beautiful peninsula, as you know, right outside of Athens. And my mother's side is from Patras, so I'm actually 2nd generation. But even though I am 2nd generation, we were raised Greek. I mean, I was very active in church, the Westfield Greek Orthodox Holy Trinity Church in Westfield, New Jersey. And then ever since my days at NYU, I was always active at the cathedral, where I now sit on the parish council and I'm a big part of the events. So I'm in Leadership 100. Anything to do with the Archdiocese is very important to me, and anything to do with Hellenism is also very important to me.
What would you like to tell our viewers watching the new generation about getting involved with and becoming, getting closer to your roots?
You know, I would say 2 thoughts. One is specific to Live Ethnic, and one is specific to the community at large. Specific to Live Ethnic is a crowdsourced platform. And what that means is, let's say you hop on our website and we missed a Greek restaurant that you love. Just please, by all means, takes 5 seconds, log in and add it. So much like a Wikipedia, we build out through the input, and it constantly happens. People add events, people add community organizations. So it's a voice of the people to better identify with your own culture and the cultures of others. As for the community at large, I say just when you see something, just show up. And sometimes that's the most difficult thing. Back even 5 years ago, when that first Pareia night happened, or there was a church gala, you walk in knowing 2 people. You blink, it's 4 years later, and you know everyone. So as hard as that may be, to just say, well, this is a pretty neat Greek event, I want to see what it's about, well, I don't know if I should, just show, because there's people that will greet you with open arms, and you get to know more and more people and really discover that there is a dynamic Greek community in Manhattan, which I'm sure exists in other cities.
Yes, I live in Manhattan. There's a lot of Greeks in Manhattan.
Right.
They're wonderful. There are Greeks everywhere, and all Greek Americans are wonderful. What is in store? Anything for the future? Any projects that you'd like to talk about? You know,
right now my focus, I still have 1 foot in finance, where I work with hedge funds and private equity funds. Live Ethnic obviously occupies a lot of my time, and then all the community stuff as well. So ultimately, what's the goal? I mean, right now my focus is Live Ethnic. I would love to have it really be a representative global brand where people know what it is outside of, we all start somewhere. The site's been out of beta 4 months, so it's going to take time, but that's really my goal, is to turn this into something special where it's a useful tool that we all recognize.
That's wonderful. And do you travel to Greece? What's your favorite?
I do.
What's your favorite place?
Well, you know, I'm partial to Nafplion. I really love Crete. At the same time, when Hania, I had a great time and I love it.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
Beaches of Mykonos are obviously very beautiful. It's hard to pick a favorite when you have a country as beautiful as Greece is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we want to encourage everyone to visit Greece and visit your roots and get involved, just like Justin is doing. And log on to all his sites, get involved in the community events that he's pulling together.
Terrific.
And we are going to cut to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to meet some more successful Greek American men.
On the island of Antiparos, at the heart of the Aegean, Gaia produced an exquisite organic olive oil in limited edition, which traveled all the way to the US. The sales of Antiparos olive oil will finance 10 new and innovative Greek companies to grow. Buy today your bottle in reinspiregreece.com and support the Greek youth to move forward.
We all know New York is famous for its restaurants, and you can eat out every night for the rest of your life and never see all of them. So we're going to bring the best restaurants to you. And here we are in the Flatiron/Gramercy district with Stix Mediterranean Cafe and Grill. Stathis Antonakopoulos is the owner and creator of this wonderful concept, and he's going to bring you some of the summer kind of twists and tastes and recipes. Stathis, thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. Welcome to Stix.
All right, and tell me, what does Stix stand for?
Stix is about Mediterranean health experience. We're bringing in a casual and affordable place all of those unique flavors of the Mediterranean, of Greece, of Italy, Spain, in a Stix, in a skewer, in a kebab, in a souvlaki. People call it Stix in New York City. We have chicken thighs, organic chicken thighs from Pennsylvania, pork from upstate New York, tuna from Indonesia, shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico, and a nice steak sticks from Colorado. So today we're going to be showing you off how we make our famous corn. So we get this corn from an organic farm in Kansas City. We grill it in a very slow fire for almost 20 minutes. Then we let it rest. We let it rest for 3 hours. What we're doing with that is all the humidity of the corn that is releasing, it's trapped inside the corn and cooks all over again.
Do we have to wait 3 hours? I mean, we have to
No, this is the prep area, the prep time of how you get to get the corn the way it is.
Wow.
So we let it rest for 3 hours and then we clean it up and it looks like this. And it's ready to be grilled on the grill and to serve to you when the customer's ordered. Now the pickup time, it's only 3 to 5 minutes, and when we grill it, we make it and look like this. Now, the secret though, it's in the sauce that we make.
In the sauce.
And I will show you.
Sauces. Now I have to say something here. This reminds me of Athens.
Yes, it's on a skewer.
On the streets of Athens, they sell corn on the grill.
Absolutely.
Very nice concept. You brought it all the way to New York, so you guys can have that experience. If you don't go to Athens, don't worry about it. Stix will bring it to you.
So the sauce, we get some smoked paprika, and we put it in a nice pot. We get an extra virgin olive oil from Sparti.
Sparti.
Yes.
300 olive oil.
And then we get some rock salt, and we put a nice spoon, and then we mix all of this up.
Now, does the customer do this, or you're going to do this?
We do this. We do this for the customer. So when the customer orders the corn and we just grill that part of it and this one,
okay,
we're taking this amazing sauce and we dip it on top.
So it's served with the sauce?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then we take a little bit of the rock salt, we sprinkle it on the top, and it's ready to go.
What complements this dish? What can we get with this dish? What else do you guys have?
We have plenty of salads and a lot of steaks. We have chicken steaks, pork steaks, tuna steaks, vegetarian steak sticks, everything on a skewer.
you also mentioned organic. Are all your products organic?
It's 90% organic. It's very hard to find all of our products organic. Organic is a way of life. It's not really, we're not doing it because it's fashion. We don't advertise about it. It's we really believe in the quality of the ingredients. The ingredients is a protagonist on this in the food experience. So we're trying to make a short time from the time that the ingredients come from the field inside our restaurant. That's why we try to buy as local as we can, and we're trying to buy as fresh as we can.
That's good. You support the local organic
Absolutely.
vendors.
Absolutely.
New York rooftops, I'm kidding. Farms.
No, there is a lot of farms. If you drive an hour away in upstate New York or New Jersey, there is a lot of farms that they practice organic and they really believe.
So everything here is New York state-grown, organic, from the wonderful farms. Not all of them, but as much as they can bring.
Except the corn. The corn is from Kansas City.
So is that the best corn in the United States?
I believe so. I
All
believe
right,
so.
guys, so you got to try the Kansas corn at this Mediterranean cafe and grill. Stathis going to be here to welcome all of you. It's an amazing experience.
Ολοκαίνουριο κατάστημα στην καρδιά της Αστόριας. Τσακίρης Μαλάς. Τα καλύτερα και τα πιο μοντέρνα υποδήματα άριστης ποιότητας από Ελλάδα, Ιταλία και Ισπανία. Το κατάστημα που εξυπηρετεί κάθε ανάγκη της σύγχρονης γυναίκας και του άντρα. Τσακίρης Μαλάς, 3143 Steinway Street, Αστόρια, καθώς επίσης στο 7111 Austin Street, Forest Hills και 1206 Kings Highway, Brooklyn.
And we're back. We're here with John Retsios, and we're going to talk about men's fashion. John, how did you like Justin?
Justin is great. I've known Justin for so many years, and it's always amazing to see what he does. And he always looks good, by the way.
He always looks good. He's always well dressed. And on that note, I want you to tell us what are we looking at here today? I love it. It's very Hamptons.
This is very Hamptons. You know, it's royal blue. When you match that with the white, it just says summer, it says island, it says Hamptons. But we've gone a little retro. The retro is coming back here with the stripe. And never be afraid to wear always wear pocket square if you want.
I love it. I love it.
It gives it that little.
So this is what's in fashion this year. We're going to see a lot of lines, a lot of colors, neon, the greens. I see
Absolutely,
some neons in there.
Neon is making a nice little comeback now. I guess everything comes back for a reason.
Can men wear fuchsia?
Men cannot wear fuchsia, okay? Men can wear a nice
stripe.
It can be a stripe, but we call it pink. Real men wear pink.
Real men wear pink.
We don't wear fuchsia.
So tell me a little bit about what colors should men have in their wardrobe?
Well, there's three main colors for men, okay? It's black, obviously. It's gray, and it's blue. Here we have the royal blue, but a navy blue is the perfect for a guy. And guys out there, you can wear, the best thing you can have, versatile suit, is a blue navy suit.
Blue. And let's talk about the shirts. I mean, I love the white, and I like the contrast, a sharp white shirt with gray and black and navy, but I also like color, the same color with the same, like a gray with a gray. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to do that. Use the same shades of one color. You can have a gray shirt with a gray tie on a gray suit. Nice, clean look.
Clean look. And you know who started that? Brad Pitt with Ocean's 13.
There we go.
I love seeing him in his tan or his brown, and it just looks very sharp, very in fashion, very cool. But tell me about the bow tie. It's back.
Bow ties are back. You know, I love wearing a bow tie to a wedding, but you can wear bow tie to the office. They come in so many different patterns and styles now, so don't be afraid to wear a bow tie. You can wear one like this that's already tied, or you can just learn to tie it yourself. It's very easy. You go to YouTube.
Now, can I ask something for the summer, especially when you're traveling in Europe? Informal is better, just a shirt, a jacket, and linen pants?
Just like this, you know, like this, a jacket. Always bring
just like John.
Just like this, you know. Keep it open here so you can get the sea breeze on you.
Jeans, very Euro trashy.
You can do jean, you can do a linen white, anything. It's what you want to feel comfortable, but you can also just know what the occasion is. If it's a wedding, you're going to dress it up a little bit more. You know, a lot of people in Europe like
Even
to go
on an
without
island,
a tie.
can you go to a wedding without a tie on an island?
On an island, you can actually go without shoes to a wedding, because we've seen a lot of people do that. But
I've seen Gabri going to their wedding without a tie.
Absolutely. And in Bermuda, they wear shorts. That's why we call it Bermuda.
Oh, that's right.
You know? So
I didn't know that way.
Exactly. My friend recently just got married, and her husband was wearing Bermuda shorts.
I love it.
That's what you do. It's an island.
So anything goes, guys, for the summer. Bright colors, but always keep that traditional three-colored suits.
That's it,
around.
those 3 colors. And also, visit your tailor. Keep it fitted. You want to buy something, we go and buy small, medium, large now in big box stores. We can just take them to a tailor, get them fitted to your body. All body types are different. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Don't
but
be afraid.
You should be afraid if you're not in shape because a fitted suit.
That's true, that's true, that's true.
We want you to be in shape.
Yeah.
So be in shape to wear that fitted European suit that's very much in fashion. It's taking America by storm, that fitted suit. Now you go out shopping and you see European cut or fitted cut and the shirt's fitted. I love a fitted shirt.
And they even take it now in America to another level. They say Italian cut, French cut, to where it's more fitted. It's like Europe is coming over here.
It's so fitted, you can't even...
You can't even fit in it, But, I mean, that's what it is.
It's so fitted, you can't fit.
You can't fit.
So don't eat, exercise, so you can wear that European hot-looking suit. Now, John, I like the 5 o'clock shadow on men. I think it's very sexy, and I don't mind it even at, in the office, at a wedding.
Right.
It's formal for me. I think the 5 o'clock shadow is still formal. Is that in fashion still?
It's totally in fashion. You always see those guys with the 5, the 2-day, the 1-week shadow, which is okay now because a lot of people, as long as you keep it clean. On the subject of grooming, you want to see your barber at least once a month. You want to keep it clean. Have a short look so that you don't have to take so much time in the morning to get ready to go to the office,
Gel it up for the summer.
Gel it up. Get a pomade, get a Sumo Tech, just put a little in your hand, a dime size in your hands, and zhuzh a little bit. That's all you got to do.
It looks too oily. So
it looks
be careful
too oily
when you're putting that wax on.
Right, and the main important thing is moisturize. Men don't moisturize.
Men don't moisturize enough. It's so important to have good skincare because men age as well, and you can prevent those wrinkles just like we women do. And you can fill up your, vanity cabinet with a lot of great products that are out there.
So many great products for men because all the cosmetic designers, they have a men's line because they know men need to take care of their face too because when you're 60 and 70, you don't want to look like a prude. those
Greeks on those ships and those yachts.
Those yachts.
Got to take care of your skin. Okay,
Absolutely.
we're gonna cut to a commercial break and be back for more on KAlimera USA. And we have the honor of having with us the Assistant Director of New York State, FBI. We're very honored to have you here. Mr. Venizelos, thank you so much. You gave a wonderful speech here. How important is it for the community to be more aware of safety?
I think we can never be too much aware. I think when it comes to terrorism, New York City is the #1 target for terrorism in this country. And we all have, as citizens of this city and this state, we have to always be aware of it and look for it.
How safe is the United States after 9/11?
I think it's much safer. It's the safest it's ever been, but doesn't mean we can't let our guard down. We have to keep the pressure on.
And since taking office, what are some of the things on your agenda for the FBI?
Well, my agenda is just keep supporting. We have a lot of we have great agents, a lot of Greek agents too, believe it or not. We have great agents in New York City that work, and not just agents, all employees. And my goal is to get them what they need to get the job done. Get out and do things like this. Get the message out, what the FBI is all about, and all the hard work we're doing.
Terrorism is a global problem, and what are some of the challenges that you face working with some of the other countries?
I think some countries, frankly, some countries promote terrorism, and some countries don't. And I think the challenge is to get these countries to realize terrorism's not good, terrorism's bad. Most countries get it though.
How safe is Greece?
Greece is safe, but Greece has its problems now. There's a lot of outsiders coming to Greece.
Are we gonna have it easier at the airports? I mean, how's the security coming along at the airports?
I think security is good. I think it's getting better. I think people it's getting better, quicker, and plus people getting used to it. So I'd rather be inconvenienced for a little and feel safe on a plane.
What is the top 3 list for the FBI? What are the top 3 things that are most important?
Most important in New York City right now is terrorism is always #1. Cybercrime is #2. The people getting into computers and stealing information, getting into companies stealing information. And then #3 is always going to be white-collar crime is always important.
Now for our youth, real quick, can you give us some tips and what they should watch out for? What is things that are dangerous for the youth today?
I think youth, stay away from drugs. I mean, drugs is a killer. Drugs is still probably one of the worst problems in the world in this country. Guns and drugs.
Guns and gangs.
And gangs, yeah. Guns, drugs, and stay away from drugs. It'll destroy your life.
As a Greek American, I'm sure you grew up in a traditional background. I'm sure you had Greek American friends. And as you said, there are a lot of Greeks in the FBI. Do Greeks have tendency or the DNA to be in the police task force in the military?
Yeah, I think so. I think more and more now I've seen a lot of rise. You know, and when I see the Greek, I always try to take care of them, because they're usually the hardest working agents there. They have that work ethic that we grew up with, the work,
And
hard
care.
work and care about people.
Compassionate.
Compassion. It's a heart. You can't teach the heart.
So now you grew up in New Jersey.
Yes.
How do you see the world before your career in the FBI, and how do you see the world today after being in this position?
That's a great question. It's definitely, I see all the bad in the world, you know, when you do this, but I also see good people trying to help people when they're in trouble. And so I see, it's both sides. I see bad, but then I see people trying to help people. So it's good.
Well, we're very proud of you. Helene, in this very high position, what advice do you have to give? You are a leader in our community. How important is it to keep close to our Greek heritage?
Absolutely. We should never, we should appreciate what we have and our heritage, and be proud of what we have. We should always be proud of what we have. We have a great heritage, and I think we can never lose it. We gotta keep it, keep the values.
And what do you think about Greece's situation? Are they going to overcome this, and how can we support Greece and visit?
I hope so. We have to, the way supporters visit. You know,
Are you going to visit?
I've been there 6 times. I love Greece.
Okay.
I could go every year if I had the means. Someday I will go every year.
Well,
But thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice job. Thank you.
Το KAlimera Meat Market λειτουργεί υπό νέα διεύθυνση και επιμένει ελληνικά. Με φρέσκο κρέας, λάδι, ελιές, τυρί και τα αγνότερα προϊόντα της ελληνικής γης. Και με τα δικά μας προσεγμένα σουβλάκια που θα βρείτε έξω από το κατάστημα. Προσφέρουμε το καλύτερο για τη διατροφή σας. KAlimera Meat Market. Περιμένουμε να σας εξυπηρετήσουμε. 3711 Broadway για δωρεάν διανομή κατοίκων, τηλέφωνο 718 726 3301.
Η εκπομπή μας σήμερα είναι αφιερωμένη στους άντρες και συνεχίζουμε λοιπόν με άλλους 2 πετυχημένους Έλληνο-Αμερικάνους της κοινότητας. Έχουμε μαζί μας τον Dean τον Petkanas και τον Thomas τον Kikis, οι οποίοι είναι ιδρυτές της φαρμακευτικής εταιρείας KannaLife Thomas Kikis. Ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing our show today. We have a lot of wonderful Greek-American members of the community and men, and 2 more successful Greek Americans, founders of KannaLife Sciences. We have with us Dean Petkanas and Thomas Kikis. Welcome to our studios. This is very exciting what you guys are doing here with KannaLife. And I do want to mention that you guys currently hold an exclusive license with the National Institute of Health on cannabinoids as antioxidants and neuroprotectants. That's very impressive. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Well, I mean, you've done so much with your careers. I'd like to find out a little bit more about your background and how you ended up in pharmaceuticals. Let's begin with Dean Petkanas.
Oh, well, I'd say started maybe about 25 years ago. When I was an investment banker on Wall Street, a merchant banker. I came upon a company that was involved in the synthesis of a product that came to be known as Taxol, which is an anti-cancer drug that's used to treat women's breast cancer and ovarian cancer. So I got a first-hand view of what it's like to take a drug from nature through the process of pharmaceutical research and development, and then to bring a product into the marketplace. I spent my time as an investment banker for a small biotech that was involved in synthesizing Taxol and bringing it into the market as a generic. And then thereafter, again, a second tour with the company, we were involved in bringing a drug to the marketplace for sickle cell disease, which is a 4-plant compound. So again, these are phytomedical products that come from nature, and then they're developed or refined to be developed for use and treatment of patients suffering from a variety of different diseases.
I do want to mention as well that about pharmaceuticals, that the reason pharmaceuticals were developed were because they were trying to control the amount of the nutrients and from phyta, or the phyto, I mean from the plants, plant derivatives, and that's how the pharmaceutical industry began?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it's time-tested, and you go back to the Phoenicians. It's strangely enough and oddly enough, cannabinoids are trapped within the plant species of cannabis, taxa. And there's probably over 100 different chemicals that are, make up the embodiment of the plant, of the flower, the female flower, which is cannabis, and the male species of variety is commonly known as hemp. But in the plant itself, the two most active compounds are THC, which is tetrahydrocannabinol, and then there's CBD, which is cannabidiol. And those are known to have some very interesting pharmacological or pharmacokinetic effects in the human body. Humans have an endocannabinoid system, and cells have receptors, and you have cell receptors all over your body, and you have the CB1 and the CB2 receptor, and those chemicals tend to play a variety of tunes within those receptors for the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, and the enteric system. And so the ideal here is to use the patent that you just described earlier, which is the out license we have with the National Institutes of Health, and work towards developing a drug or target drug candidate to treat a specific disease. And in this case, it's called hepatic encephalopathy. It's a brain-liver disorder.
So to go back to my question, we are healing through nature. And one of the plants that is part of nature is cannabis. It's got a bad rap, but there's a lot of great buzz around cannabis these days.
That's correct.
And Thomas Kikis has a wonderful background, very diverse. I do have to mention that Thomas Kikis is one of the best branding artists that I know. He has branded all our New Greek TV logos and graphics. And Thomas, we're very proud of you in general.
Thank you, Yanna. Thank
and
you.
Thomas is also a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let him speak about himself.
Right. So I started in design a long time ago and worked for MTV. I started a film company here in New York called Ovi a long time ago as well. Made a few movies, made a successful film called Darkon about live action role players, which was bought by Brad Pitt's company. And then I made a few films in the last couple of years. One was a Greek movie called Alps with Yorgos Lanthimos and Athina Tsagari. And last year made a film called It's a Disaster with Julia Stiles, David Cross, and America Ferrera. But in between that, Dean and I actually got together a while back and started this company. And I think one of the biggest reasons was because we wanted to help a lot of people. And that's why, a lot of people ask me that question, why would you get involved in a pharmaceutical company?
Yes, I was going to ask you that. That was my next question to you. It's what made you even think about cannabis fighting liver cirrhosis?
Well, funny enough, my dad has liver cirrhosis, and he has this hepatic encephalopathy. So when, one of the first discussions Dean and I had were trying to feel out how to start this company, or was, what do we want to do with it? And I think helping people is, one of the biggest things that we want to do. And so, because of my dad suffering this type of illness, and also because I've had several family members who were scientists who have died from cancer or from liver disease, I really wanted to get involved. And, we got together and I brought in all my expertise. He told me, he said, you have to learn everything about pharmaceuticals, and I have. I don't know everything, but I know enough. I think so far we've done some really amazing things, and actually a lot of credit goes to Dean Petkanas, because if it wasn't for his devotion and his insight, we wouldn't have never gotten this license. And he saw it first. He said, this is a path we need to go to standardize medicine.
I think that's wonderful. I mean, you're innovators, you're pioneering, you're doing wonderful things, and you're doing it with a very controversial plant. And CNN just had a wonderful special a while back with Sanjay Gupta, and he spoke about, he uncovered a lot of the misconceptions about cannabis. Dean, would you like to talk about that?
Sure. I think it's important that clinical Western medicine in the United States kind of catches up to what you were referring to earlier, which is holistic naturopathic healing. Traditional healthcare is a model that's practiced around 70–80% of the world, and for a country that prides itself on innovation, we sure have kind of fallen lax to the developments in this regard. I think Big Pharma is going to start to pick up the ball a little bit also, but they're relying on smaller companies such as ours to lead the way, do some early R&D, and kind of kick in to do our part. We have a really well-heeled contemporary in Great Britain, GW Pharmaceuticals, run by Dr. Jeffrey Guy, who's done a terrific job there. They have a great team. They've built a formulary to work on cannabis extracts and strains and compounds to deal with pain management, interruption of the allodynia model, and also in spasticity for multiple sclerosis. We think that we could do pretty much the same, not only on the synthetic side of what we're working on in Pennsylvania at our research facility in Doylestown, where we have a terrific team there. Dr. Bill Kinney's there, who's our chief scientific officer and lead chemist. Dr. Doug Brenneman's there, who was a section chief at National Institutes of Health for 10 years. Did terrific work with cannabinoids in ethtox in utero, which is ethanol toxicity in utero for females carrying the children. And we have a formulary that we're building out in South Park, Colorado, where we'll be able to follow the GW standard in terms of building out greenhouses so that we can develop strains that are apt to deal with a variety of different disorders, just as if you had seen a special the other night with Dr. Gupta. He focused on a gal named Charlotte, a young girl with seizures, and there is a strain out there that's being afforded for use for children that have epilepsy called Charlotte's Web. These strains have anecdotal names to them, but should be known, as we spoke to earlier, there's a chemistry to the plant that's adaptive to the bottle, and these adaptogens work within the biophysics of an individual, and it seems to have more than a passing response in many, many people.
Yes, they see seizures. I mean, this seizes the seizures stop, and these children are being saved, you know, from this horrible thing that's happening to them. And we do want to mention that it's different. People might not understand. It's injected, if I'm not mistaken. Do the children receive injections?
Well, there's a variety of different pathways. There is no high,
in other words. It's a different...
Well, there are different forms of administration. There was a program that was done, a documentary that showed how the administration of an extract was pushed into a human, right here, peritoneal, through the navel. Mm-hmm. That was one way where there was a navel port. Others have taken the product vaporized, inhaled, sublingually under the tongue.
Does it cause a high? No.
Well, it all depends on what's in the plant. I mean, if you have a high percentage of THC, which is where the psychotropic values are, and also cannabinol, which has a light psychotropic grade to it, there are going to be highs. But
there are highs with Percocet and all these other drugs. That's
absolutely.
Why it's such a hypocrisy. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, Piers Morgan, who's on CNN as well, said that he'd fallen off a pier or something, and he took Percocet, and he felt a bigger high from Percocet than he had from cannabis any day of the week.
And there you go.
So
you get it from Claritin.
I know.
Where do
you exactly? I think that with all these reports and the latest research, I think that the United States is turning their opinion on the positive effects of cannabis. Where do you think this is going to go?
Deeper into the research, deeper into the science, deeper into the standardization and processes. You still have to standardize, process a product. The FDA put out guidance in 2004, botanicals as medicaments, and the guidance for botanicals is clear. You can take a phytomedical product through the FDA to get clearance for an investigational new drug application, and you could bring it into the market as a drug, but you have to follow the same footprint of standardization as one would be in making a synthetic analog. So I think that the market's going to mature. I think you're going to have a very competitive market. There are great botanists out there. I mean, we have a partner in South Park. I want to call him Dr. Jason Cranford because he's probably one of the best botanists in the country that understands the plant species, the phenotypes, how to grow organically, how to standardize without pesticides, without mold, no contamination. And he's awarded as a specialist as a grower. I mean,
So people are allowed to grow for medicinal, they get a specific license. Explain to me how that works.
Every state has their own governance in terms of where they've provided a pathway to the marketplace for commercialization. In Colorado, I think Colorado has the best set of rules out there of any state that has legalized marijuana for use of medicinal purposes. They really wrap themselves around standards and standardization. And licensing is a big issue as well. Their controls and protocols on licensing should be followed by every state that's considering to move in the pathway of the movement that you discussed. So you do have to have licensing, you do have to have authority to conduct business in the state. We have. And we have partners that are licensed to do the growing and to do the formulary.
The fact that your company states that you have social responsibility, would you like to elaborate?
Well, from day one, we like I said, our mission is to help people. It's to get the product, whether it's our synthetic product with the R&D model on the drug discovery side, or the natural product that's going to be coming out of Colorado. We want to create products that actually do well and help people with any kind of ailment. Mm-hmm. So that's our mission. And then at some point, once we get to a certain level, we want to give back actually also. So that's our mission, to help and to be socially responsible.
Dean?
I couldn't have said it better.
All right. Well, you've said it. You've said enough. I think that you're doing wonderful things, and we're very proud of you as Greeks in our community, Greek Americans. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up, Dean.
Well,
we grew up together, actually. I grew up with both these guys.
Queens, Fresh Meadows, stickball in the street.
That's right, football in the street on the beach.
Youth. You're taking me back too many years. Before I forget, I do want to say something. I want to thank Napoleon Georgiados, who's not here with us today, but he was kind of there from the very beginning. He's extremely bright, very articulate.
Another Greek.
Another Greek. There's several of us.
And I would say that he's probably, you talk about a rising star, you want to get him on this program.
Sure.
He is brilliant.
We want to hear about all Greek Americans that are successful. Send us emails. We would love to feature them on the show. We want to learn about you, even if you're not, you don't have to be in New York, anywhere around the world. We're interested in finding out what the Greeks are doing to change the world and the community. And these two gentlemen are changing the world with their research on cannabis and their wonderful company that's going to have a lot more product, healing, medicinal, social responsibility. Toma, tell me a little bit about your background. I know where you grew up, but let's tell everyone else.
Yeah, I grew up in Flushing. I went to NYU. I had in grade school, I went to St. Demetrius, Jamaica, and I had a really, really amazing basketball coach who
your babysitter,
who was basically, who gave me my first job on a coaching side, which was to take score, and then would put me into the game.
Well,
and,
I had to.
You had to put me in the game somewhere. Yeah, I was so small.
Your 3
I
points
so
weren't working.
It was amazing.
You were great. No.
But we had great times, and
we have a great community.
Yeah, we do.
We have to say that we have a lot of successful Greek Americans in all the communities, the Greek American communities, Long Island, Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx. The Greek American kids are really excelling, and we want to feature all of them on KAlimera USA. And of course, you've been featured. So we'd like to thank you guys for being here. Would you like to leave our viewers with a message? Because you're pioneering.
That's the fact is that we are pioneers, and initially we've got a lot of criticism from people because they didn't understand what we were doing, and because this plan is such taboo. But we want to just say that we're still going to keep our focus, and we're going into this next series, this next 6 months to a year. We have a lot of interest from a lot of international companies who want to finance us for our second round. At some point, we want to go public. So we want all the support we can get from the community. That would be great. And we're talking about support on any kind of a level. But we also want to have people who are talented in the community, who are maybe scientists, who are in any kind of level interested in what we're doing, to send us an email, to get in touch with us. I think that's really important for us. And if there are other scientists out there, which we know that there are, especially Greek scientists, we welcome them to come and maybe talk collaboration. So I think that's all.
Dean, from Wall Street to Utah.
The only thing that I can think of to share with the viewers who are out there is persistence. It was a very, very difficult process getting this license. There was a lot of opposition. Even the good people at NIH, the doctors who were there, who were dedicated to the process of technology transfer, they had gotten quite a bit of stir-up from the marketplace. And I would say that when you set your goals, you can't stop short of the finish line. You have to be persistent enough to finish, have the courage enough and the conviction enough to finish. Mine comes from a higher authority. And you know, I count to all my blessings to the faith I have. And that gets you through the really difficult times and difficult processes, but you have to be persistent.
Persistence. Another gentleman who was persistent is John Megaris, who's up next on our show. John Megaris has created some products as well from nature, from Greek herbs, and he is a hairstylist and famous in our community as well. Has styled many celebrities. Gentlemen, thank you for being on our show.
Thanks for having us.
And keep on doing what you're doing. And we're going to toss to John Megaris and see what's in fashion this year for hair.
Εργαστήριο επαγγελματικών ενδυμάτων Not Just Flax Inc. Διαθέτουμε για την επιχείρησή σας τα αρτιότερα ενδύματα εργασίας, με υφάσματα άριστης ποιότητας και ραφή που αντέχει στο χρόνο. Δημιουργούμε αθλητικές εμφανίσεις ομάδων, στολές συλλόγων και σχολείων. Στη διάθεση της ομογένειας με 30 χρόνια εμπειρίας και τις καλύτερες τιμές αγοράς. Θα μας βρείτε στο 37 West Cedarview Avenue, Staten Island και τηλέφωνο 347 886 0220.
We are with celebrity hairstylist John Megaris, who has had a wonderful 50-year career styling and cutting hair for tremendous celebrities, including the legendary Elizabeth Taylor, Natalie Portman, Lindsay Lohan, athletes, models,
sportscasters. You know, I've
television, film, he's done it all. John Megaris happens to be a Greek from Greece. John, tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you come to the United States and how did you begin this career?
I came at the United States, I was 13 years old. And
from where?
I'm from Aegio, Calabrita. Beautiful place, I guess everybody knows Calabrita. And when I came here, I fell into become a hairdresser. And I was working on Fifth Avenue for a few years. When I was 17, I had a friend of mine who worked in myself in New York, and he took me there, and I loved the ambiance. I loved what was happening in this business, and I was then I had a salon at the Miracle Mile in Manhasset. I had a salon at Fifth Avenue in New York City. I had another salon in Syosset.
I heard that you are the one who gave Natalie Portman that gorgeous short hairstyle.
I did, and she was beautiful, and I knew from the very beginning she was going to become very, very big.
Big star.
Yeah, big star.
What does it take to have healthy hair?
Well, it takes maintenance. Maintenance, which means a good shampoo, have a good conditioner, have a little silk to put into the hair that gives you all this volume that you need, and the rest of it comes by itself.
Well, you're going to do a makeover for us with our gorgeous producer here today, Corey Silverman. What does it take to have long, healthy hair?
What makes the hair healthy is good conditioning treatments, using the right product before you blow it to coat the hair so it doesn't get damaged from the blow dryer, and a good haircut and a right blow dryer and a really good brush.
So I know John was telling me that throughout the years of his experience, he, year after year, he would find women's hair deteriorating. So every year he would say to me, every year I would see more chemically processed hair, damaged hair. Right. And he created these great hair products. They're all natural. Right. He went back to Greece. He found all these herbs and organic ingredients, and he brought them back to the United States to his chemist, and he made a wonderful line, John McGarris Next Generation Hair Products. Tell us a little bit about your all-natural hair products.
The hair products that we have today is all made out of pure collagen. It has a lot of B5, has keratin proteins, it has a lot of natural proteins, and it's all natural. And it came from a research of many, many years. And I've been working with these products for about 30 years now. And I love the products, I love what it does to the women, and I love what it does to the hair. So when you use these products, all of a sudden you feel like $1 million.
You feel like $1 million.
Right.
We want to feel like $1 million, but we want to look like $1 million. Now, I want to see Corey looking like $1 million. Let's go and check out what Corey's up to.
Sometimes I want some raccoon or red highlights.
And here we are with our model, Corey Silverman, and she's just such a beautiful girl with gorgeous, gorgeous thick hair. What kind of haircut do you recommend for this style of face?
For this style of face, I like her hair long. We have just a little bit of layers on the side, and she has such a magnificent face that her hair is beautiful.
And her hair is thick. What kind of haircut do you recommend for very thick, full hair?
For thick, full hair, I recommend usually long, you know.
Not feathered, not cut in layers.
Because you are really extending the hair. You're making it thick. So you want it nice and shiny, and you put a little silk on it. It takes out the frizzy, and it makes a beautiful natural curl. And her hair with little layers on the side over here, her hair would just be beautiful.
So a few layers, not so many, because she has thick, full hair. That's
Right.
what John recommends for thick, full hair. Not many layers, longer. And for her facial structure, he doesn't recommend feathering it.
Not the feathering, just a couple
Just
pieces.
a couple of pieces.
Right.
All right, well, let's see how she looks with her hair blown out.
I gotta know, this is not fair. That all that is just freeze my hair. I gotta know, this is not fair. That all that is just freeze my hair.
And there you have it, silky, gorgeous, long hair. You did a great job, John. Thank you, guys.
Thank
you did
you
a
very
great job.
much. Thank you.
She looks gorgeous. So the secret to beautiful, healthy hair is maintenance, a good haircut, great products, and masters. Έδειξε το ταλέντο του στη μουσική από την ηλικία των 8 ετών όταν άρχισε να παίζει κιθάρα. Σήμερα ο Γκος Φαφαλιός είναι από τους πιο γνωστούς Ελληνοαμερικάνους κιθαρίστες και έχει παίξει στο πλευρό σπουδαίων καλλιτεχνών. Ο Gus Fafalios είναι εδώ στο KAlimera USA και θα μας τα πει όλα. Gus Fafalios was born in New York City and is another Greek-American success story. He began playing guitar at the age of 8. Although having a successful career as a guitarist, he's played with many well-known artists, but he started his career as an attorney and went on to successfully run one of the largest real estate companies in Manhattan and also helped start City Habitats. Gus, welcome to our show.
Hi, Yanna. How are you?
I hope we didn't get you up early because I know you play guitar late and...
No, that's okay. I keep bankers' hours for the most part, to be honest with you.
You have a wonderful story. I mean, you are the epitome of a success story of a person who follows his dream. Because I know you started out as an attorney. How did you turn your life around? Tell me about your story.
Well, I don't know if it's really turning my life around. It's more or less following what I felt was really important. I played music sort of semi-professionally while I was in college. And then sort of, I didn't give it up. I always played, I always practiced, but I sort of gave up the live playing. I left the band that I was playing with. We actually broke up. And basically followed an academic career. So I went on to law school, worked as a criminal attorney for all of about 6 months and decided that it really wasn't for me.
How did your parents feel about that?
Well, they were ecstatic that I passed the bar exam, I think, especially given my study habits. I think they were very proud about the fact that I became an attorney. I ended up working in real estate, which at the time was a great career choice for me. I mean, the market was ripe with a lot of opportunity. It sort of afforded me the freedom to continue to write music and play, although obviously not on a full-time level, but my hours were essentially my own. So I sort of immersed myself in that. Yeah.
So, I mean, you started up one of the largest real estate companies in the very successful City Habitats. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I didn't, you know, I had worked, I had ended up, after working at Sofa Real Estate as a broker, becoming the general manager of the company for several years in the mid-90s. The company was sold soon thereafter that. I left, and Andrew Heiberger, who now has Town Real Estate, who's one of my really good friends, was starting City Habitats, and we sort of got together, and he basically hired me to kind of hire and train some of the new agents that he was bringing into City Habitats, which at the time was a fledgling company. Obviously that exploded and turned into one of the biggest companies in the city. I continued doing that for a little bit. Eventually I sort of branched out on my own and worked as an independent broker.
Going back to being an attorney, why did you choose criminal law?
Well, the truth of the matter is that I had a very good friend of mine who was a criminal attorney, so the opportunity was there for me to help him out, and it just seemed like a natural progression.
And then when did you realize that you didn't want to do this? I mean, I know it was 6 months down the line, but was that hard to walk away from that?
The truth of the matter is I pretty much realized that the first day. It took about 6 months for it to sink in before I actually
You weren't happy?
made the decision. No, I really wasn't happy. You know, it's a great profession. Being in criminal court every morning was something which just was not for me. I found it depressing, and just wasn't the type of thing that I really saw myself doing long term. Obviously, it was great to have a job, you know, out of school, so that was an important consideration. Fortunately, when you pass the bar exam in New York, you automatically have your real estate license, so that was a very easy transition.
Right.
I didn't have to take a test. I sort of, you know, immediately went on to work. You know,
How's the
in real
market
estate.
today?
You know what? You'd probably have to ask somebody who's a lot more in tune with it than I am. At this point, I sort of do it on a very peripheral level for friends and family.
But I know you were in it with the boom, and now, you know, I mean, I'm sure you still follow, and now the market has not recovered that much.
No, and I think prices have tapered off, and you know, may not sort of see the levels that they were at years ago for quite some time, if ever, to be honest with you. You know, that being said, there's still plenty of opportunities out there, and as a broker, you know, volatility is sort of the most important thing. As prices go up and down, people are buying, selling, you know, moving, and that's sort of what you look for. So.
But the love of your life is guitar playing. You've had an opportunity to play with amazing artists, and you also do something else that a lot of people really want to do when they retire. It's fishing.
Well, listen, I've sort
night
of,
fishing.
I don't know whether I've regressed in my life.
Check that out.
But yeah, this is my
That's his logo.
that's my
I don't know
logo.
if you guys could see it.
I sort of about 10 years ago, I decided that I was getting to the point in my life where I should at least try and follow my passion, which was guitar playing. Oddly enough, while I was sort of wearing a suit and working in the real estate company, I was stopped by somebody on 54th Street in Lexington with a flyer that said, "Are a musician trapped in a suit?" And that's exactly what I was. At the time, it was sort of an ad for this group, sort of like a gym for musicians. People that like were professionals, doctors, lawyers, accountants, whatever, who really had a passion for music. So I started doing that. It enabled me to go out and play live again, and I realized how much I actually missed it. There was such a void in my life that I never realized. And then, you know, just doing these shows once a month at like the Bitter End or some of the other places in the city, I was like, wow, this is great. Eventually, it got to the point where I said, you know what, I've got to really sort of concentrate on this, and if I'm ever going to do it, I better do it now while I still can. So I sort of quit all the real estate stuff. I mean, at this point, I do it for friends and family and referrals, and sort of.
Who's better than you? You do what you love.
Well,
you're a guitar player,
you know.
and you fish. Tell me about your
Listen,
your
the
best
fishing.
catches.
Listen, the fishing is another. The fishing is an obsession. Guitar playing is a passion. Fishing is
An obsession.
Is an obsession, and people that know me will definitely understand what
What's
I'm
the
talking
biggest
about.
catch you ever caught?
Oh my God! I mean, I've caught huge sharks.
Biggest fish you've ever caught, rather.
I don't know. I mean, we've caught sharks in excess of 400 or 500 pounds.
In Long Island?
In Long Island, I also fish in the Keys in Florida. I'm pretty much, I have a boat out in Montauk, so I'm out there pretty much year round. I take my boat out in December, but I'll continue fishing in the winter months with other people. One of my good friends, Captain Mark Morose, who is probably the best captain out in Montauk, gets me on commercial trips. I mean, I can fish, so he sort of calls me up and I help him catch fish commercially, which I love to do. I also spearfish in Greece, which I love. I mean, it's an obsession for me. I love the sea. I love the ocean. It calms me down, and for me, the whole idea of not making noise. I make noise for a living. I go out and play guitar, I play in loud clubs and bars and different venues.
So you want peace after that?
It's just such a nice,
serene.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Well, we love that, and we want to tell our audience where they can find your tracks.
If you go on iTunes under Gus Fafalios, I have a CD called Night Fishing, which was released, I guess, about 3 or 4 years ago.
How appropriate. Night fishing.
My website is nightfishingmusic.com, which will sort of direct anybody who's interested to where I'd be playing or what projects I'm currently working on. I recently completed or worked on an album with Cassidy Catanzaro, who was the lead singer of a band called Antigone Rising. We went up to Woodstock about a month ago and recorded it. It's now in post-production and hopefully will be released in the next few months. And another project that I've been associated with is another really great friend of mine. His name is Notar, who is the best rapper on the planet. If you don't know him, you soon will.
Okay.
And his album will be dropping in October, God willing, and we'll see what happens.
Well, good stuff, Gustamu. Thanks for coming by our set, and we're going to watch out for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And all your successes.
Thank
and
you.
I want you to leave our viewers with a message. Now, not the cliche, follow your dreams, because that's what you were saying to me
You can't get
earlier.
any more cornball than this, but basically try and follow your passion and do it early enough in life so that you don't regret not doing it. That's about it. All right?
Love that.
Cool.
Kostas Fafalios, Greek-American, born and raised in Manhattan, taking the nightlife by storm with his guitar playing.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, that was it. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back again on KAlimera USA soon.